Plaintiff Angela Zamora says the defendant is her daughter's boyfriend, and he is controlling and abusive. Angela claims the defendant choked her daughter, and despite Angela asking her daughter to come to court with her today, she chose to come as the defendant's witness. Angela is suing her daughter's boyfriend for damaging her television. Defendant Marcos de la Cruz says Angela has never liked him, and she's the one who tries to control her daughter. Marcos claims Angela wants to be the only one in her daughter's life, and he denies owing her because he denies breaking the television.
Start with you.
I'm here because Marcos de la Cruz is my daughter's boyfriend, of course, who is abusive, controlling, and destructive. In the past, he has choked my daughter and was removed from her by his brother. He has stolen her car going 115 miles an hour down the highway, which got pulled over, and the car got impounded. He is also the father of one of her children. And at the time of birth, I asked him if he was going to put his name on the birth certificate, and he stated no, because he did not know if that was his child. And he stated, as of today, he has a child, call him dad, but takes no financial or any type of responsibility. Myself and my parents take care of her and her children. I've asked my daughter to come here as my witness today, and she stated...
You need to move the chair over. Your daughter's in the wrong place. Is she your witness or his witness?
She should be my witness. I asked her to come today, and she stated no, it was between he and I. And that shows the control that he has over her.
No, it doesn't. It shows her choice. She doesn't. You put a gun to her head?
No, sir.
How long have they been together, ma'am?
About 6 years.
How many times has he gone to jail regarding all these things you say he's done to her?
That, she's always let him get away with everything.
How many times has she called the police?
At the apartment, she called him on April 10th.
She called the police
times,
on April 10th?
Yes.
For what?
He was drunk, and he was wanting to fight with her. She asked him to leave. He would not leave.
Okay. They didn't live together, obviously.
No, they do not.
Okay. Sir, you want to give me some background?
Angela's never liked me since day one. She is controlling over her daughter. She wants to be involved in her daughter's life, and she wants no one else to be in her daughter's life but her. She has her daughter living in her home, and she goes back and forth to home, living with her husband, living with her daughter. She just can't seem to stay to herself. Basically.
Who lives with whom again?
I live with my husband.
Yes.
Okay, what did you mean, back and forth?
She goes and lives with her husband, and she'll go and stay a couple nights over
her daughter.
With Mariah, because her and her husband
your
are
witness, your girlfriend has her own place?
Yes.
You don't live there?
No.
Okay. And why do you refer to her as controlling?
Me and Mariah lived in an apartment before, and her mother would come by, and she actually had a key made to the apartment, and we had the locks changed, and she was mad, and she broke a key off into the key lock, so we couldn't unlock the doors once we left. So.
Say that again.
Yeah.
This is your place or hers?
Ours, me and Mariah's. And her mother had a key made without our knowledge, and then we found out she had the key, and we changed the locks, and she got mad. Her key didn't work, and she broke the key into the lock, and she would not leave. We had to call the police on her that evening for her to leave.
You want to speak, ma'am?
I want to see this report that you called the
please be
police
quiet.
on me.
Please be quiet. He didn't say a word while you were talking.
You want me to stand here? Or?
Yeah, Okay. State your name.
Mariah Zamora.
Did this happen?
She moved in with me for a short while, and then she moved out. And she had a key to the apartment. We had the locks changed. She did break a key off in the lock. And she was basically, like, she wouldn't leave the apartment complex we were in. She wanted to follow us. So we went to try to leave. She pulled up behind us and blocked us in. We did call the cops, and they asked her to leave.
You sound like the crook. Trying to break in their house?
I wasn't trying to break into their house.
Did you live there? Did you still live there? She was still a resident?
I did live there.
No. Were you still a resident? Hold on. Were you still a resident, ma'am? When you came?
I was a resident when I came here to get my thing.
Why didn't your key work?
Because she changed the lock.
Right, so you were no longer welcome as a resident. You didn't know that? Now, if you were illegally evicted, that's a different story, but believe me, when the locks have been changed on you, you're no longer wanted. So, let's move on to the claim, $1,176. How does he owe you for that?
The night that he was there, when she contacted the police to have him leave, he went in and busted the television. I came over the next day, And
What did the police say?
on 410, when the police came to have him removed, my daughter contacted me and told me that she wanted me to come over to the house to stay with her, to, spend the night. I told her I couldn't spend the night, but I would come over for a few hours.
But did the police come? I guess.
The police came, had him leave.
Before you?
Before myself.
And had him removed?
And had him removed. And
They didn't do
went to the
anything
gas
to him
station.
about the television?
Nobody knew about the television because at the time everything was out. When I got over there,
Everything was out, as in what?
the lights were out. We didn't turn on anything in the house when I got to the house.
Police removed him without the lights on?
I
He
don't know
coulda had
how
a
they
weapon.
removed him because at the time she did not have the lights on in the house when I came over. She kept peeking out the window, making sure that he did not come back over. So I came over to console with her, and she come out the door, and she asked me to come in and everything, and I went into my home and stayed with her and talked with her and everything. We didn't, turn on lights or anything. She kept peeking out the window, and I told her, no, he's gone. The next day, she and I are supposed to be working on the yard, so I came over, and I was working on the yard before she got off of work with her son. He asked me to go into the house to watch TV. I let him go in the house, and he turned on the TV. He come back out, and he goes, Tutu, there's something wrong with the TV. It's broke. I said, no, it can't be broke. I went in, and there it was. It was broke. I mean,
What time?
It looks like
What time was that?
it was about 1 o'clock when I contacted
1
the police.
p.m. in the afternoon?
Yes.
When did you come over the night before?
Oh, the night before, she called me at 11:30 is when I showed, well, she called me at 11:30 according to my phone. And I got there probably about 10 till 12.
Okay.
And I stayed there for a few hours, talking to her and everything.
In the dark.
In the dark, in the living room, and she kept peeking out the window. And
What was the television?
the television is sitting in the living room.
Okay.
And, we didn't turn on the TV or anything.
Hey, you didn't turn anything
Because we wouldn't
on.
have assumed anything,
All right, and so when you came over in the morning or afternoon, that's when it was discovered.
Yeah.
Sir?
I didn't break any TV. The police were called. I went out there after a funeral that evening and went to stay with her. We had talked about it. I was going to stay the night there. And I get over there, and I was eating French fries and asked her if she wanted any French fries. She told me no. So, so I asked her where the kids were. She said they were with their grandmas. So we got in a little altercation about the kids. I was kind of upset she didn't have them. So she took the dogs outside, and she said, can you go grab my robe? It's on my bed. So I go in there, there's no robe anywhere except for on her mother's door. So I took her mother's robe and gave it to her. She said, this isn't my robe, and went back in the house. And I was outside with the dogs. I'm out there 5 or 10 minutes or so. I go in the house looking for her. She's nowhere in the house. The front door's wide open, and the gate on the front porch is open. I shut the gate, shut the door, go to walk out, and the cops walk in right there. So I sit down, and they say, get up. So I got up. So I walk over to them, and they said, she wants you to leave. You didn't do anything. She just wants you to leave.
Okay. When did you first hear about this television?
A couple days later, my mother said that Mariah had contacted her and told them that the TV was broken.
All right. Young lady, what do you know about this, the television?
Did not know it was broken until she called me saying that he broke it, but whenever it got broke, nobody was in the house to witness it.
When did she call you?
She called me, it was when I got off work.
All right. And were you sitting in the dark after he left for
Yes.
most of that night?
Yes.
All right. So it's feasible that you may not have noticed
Yes.
that it was broken. And you left what time to go to work?
The next morning,
What time?
about 6 a.m.
And it was dark outside, I assume.
Yes.
Did you turn on the living room lights?
No.
She's over there with you. I'm going to take her. I'm going to take her word. They did not see the damage. So then it becomes who was there, ma'am, between 6 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Nobody.
All right. Do you know if anyone was there between 6 a.m. and noon?
Not that I know of, no.
All right, 'cause this is all circumstantial evidence, but circumstantial evidence leads to findings of liability. In a civil case, all you need to prove is that it was more likely than not. And so I'm going to determine that it is more likely than not that you did this. Therefore, you are going to be held accountable today. $1,176 is your judgment. Have a good day.
I would really like them to get along eventually and improve their relationship.
I wish she would just see the destruction that he does and the pain that he causes her, because she's always calling me. I mean, at this point, I love my daughter. I'll always be there for her. But every time that he does something that is abusive, or, you know, what he does to her, just not call me anymore and involve me in it.